This is the Wait For It podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wait For It podcast. I'm your co-host, Phil Barrera, aka Phil the Filipino.
And I'm your other co-host, Mr. Eric Almighty. And for this edition of Creator Spotlight, we have finally completed the mission of getting and rounding the cast of My Dear Friend Nokotan that we had the pleasure of meeting earlier this year at Brick City Anime Festival. And our final guest, Phil, is possibly the best for last.
Man, what a crazy journey it has been to get all of these guests on, as we got to see them a couple times here this year, and we're very, very excited to complete the Infinity Stone quadrant that we have been collecting from this group of people that we met earlier in the year at Brick City Anime Festival. Please welcome in our guest for this month's episode, Donald Guzzi. Donald, so good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time, and how are you doing here tonight?
You as well, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. And I'm doing pretty good, you know. Just recently came off of a nice disconnecting vacation, so I'm coming down from that. The weather in Georgia is starting to cool down a little bit, so that's nice. I mean, still in the high 80s in the afternoon, but like the mornings are in the high 50s, so that's nice. But yeah, man, doing pretty good.
Cooler weather for anybody that lives in the South like we do. Boy, I walked out, Eric. I don't know if this happened to you the other day, heading to work. There was a tiny chill in the air. A little tiny. It didn't last very long.
No, it didn't last. No, and then it's just going to be wet and hot, which is just Florida weather. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I did enjoy it when it was there.
Yeah, fun while it lasted. But Donald, we are so excited to get to speak to you here this evening and learn about your story, your creative journey, everything in between. So before we get started, please, for our audience that may not be familiar with you or your work, introduce yourself and what you do.
As you said, I'm Donald Guzzi. I am a voiceover actor and director. I've been in the business since 2014. So just almost 11 years, actually September. So it is 11 years as of this month. And you may know me from the narrator from My Dear Friend Nokotan. I'm also Shinsuke Takasugi and a plethora of other characters in Hulu's Gintama. And I'm also currently directing the graphic audio production of Stormlight Archive, Book 5, Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, we were talking before we got started. Plenty to do, keeping busy, which is nice. Also good to hear that you were able to at least get some time in for yourself here recently. So yeah, because we are super excited to hear about everything that you have done and where you have how you got where you are now. So let's kind of just start there. We've had a ton of voice actors on, and we always want to know, like, where did you start off? And I think one of the best questions to always ask is, did you start off like a lot of people as a theater kid, or was your journey a little bit different? What's kind of your origin story?
Right off the bat, no, I was not a theater kid at all. Acting, nothing, none of that. So I actually, I lived in South Florida for pretty much majority of my life. I've only been living here in Georgia for about 3 years. So my journey begins down there in Miami. So I went to an audio school in Miami called SAE Institute. And I went there for audio engineering. So I fully wanted to dive into audio engineering. I wanted to do concerts, like live sound. And I was very hell-bent on doing that pretty much from the start. I went to the school. It was a really rough 9 months. It was really difficult. And going through there, I was fully wanting to do live sound, ready to go. I had my plan and everything. And then we got to the post-production side. And the project for post-production was, we basically got like a short clip. It was basically, you take a clip from a movie, show, video game, something, strip all the sound away from it, do all the sound design, all the voices, and mix it all down in 5.1, so in surround sound. And that was like one of our big projects for post-production. And in doing that, I was like, oh man, this is dope. I want to do that instead. So I pivoted pretty hard and went into that. I actually got the best in class for the 5.1, that project. We got best in class. I have a plaque. It's downstairs. So we got that. And fresh out of school, I got a job as a quality control engineer at a studio down in Miami called Universal Synergia. So quality control, for anyone who might not know, is basically I would watch dubbed content mark down anything that was wrong with it. If it was long, short, flubbed, mispronunciation, like anything that bothered me, I'd report it back to the director. They would re-record it. It'd come back to me. I'd approve it, send it out the door. So that's kind of where I started. And from there, it was a voiceover studio, and they did English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. So they did a whole bunch of stuff. While I was there, I was like, holy shit, I might be able to, voice acting. Like, watching anime and cartoons and everything growing up, I'm like, I'm here. Like, I might be able to do that. So for about 6 months, I bugged the casting director. I was like, hey man, can you give me anything? Like, I'll do crowd work. I'll do anything. I was like, let me just get in the booth. Let me try it. And keep in mind, I've never done this before, ever. And eventually he got sick of me. And he was like, all right, fine. Like, if I give you something, will you just shut the hell up and leave me alone? And I was like, absolutely. And so he threw me in the booth, and it was like, he did a voice test. It wasn't like a actual role or anything yet. It was an audition. And, he was like, oh, wow, you're not as bad as I thought you'd be. Blunt as hell. And I was like, thanks, I guess. And he was like, all right, I'll start throwing you some stuff. And, ever since I started slowly working into voiceover that way, while also moving upwards in the audio engineering. So like through my tenure at Universal, which was about 10 years or so, I went from quality control to recording engineer to directing recording engineer to mixing to mastering engineer, which, to be fair, anyone in post, mastering engineering in post isn't real. It's not real. It's not a real position. But I digress. Mastering engineer into 5.1, back to like head of quality control. Like, I've been all over the place. Anything in production when it comes to a voiceover studio, save script adaptation, I've done it. So I was doing voiceover on the side while working on that. But on the voiceover side, when we got to a point where, I was getting a lot of small stuff, just cutting my teeth, getting used to it. And they were casting for it was an HBO show. I don't know where it went. We've done so many projects that just disappear into the ether. But it was an HBO show. The show it was called Magnifica 70. It was all about the film industry in the 70s in Brazil. It was a really cool show. And they were auditioning for this one character, and they usually sent 3 options. Well, the third option was supposed to come in to record, and he no-showed, and they were like, shit, what are we going to do? We need a third person. And then they were like, screw it, send Donald. They're not going to pick him. Well, they did. So that's how I got my first lead. And of course, can't find it anywhere. And to be fair, probably better off, because I'm sure it wasn't that great. And from there, like, it really helped me. It was like one of those things where it was like, you need to get good really quick, or you're never going to get a lead again. So, it lit a fire under my ass. And ever since, it was just roll after roll after roll. And again, it was all Miami. So it's like telenovelas that go out to Africa. Like, all the Telemundo shows, they air in Africa in English, and like just a bunch of different like Latin shows that don't air here. From there, I had left in 21 or 22, somewhere around there. It was somewhere. It was briefly after COVID. My timeline is skewed ever since. Left there, went to another studio called in Boga, which a lot of people it PTSD hardcore with that place. We could talk about that a little bit later. But I worked there for about 9 months, and then my wife got a really good job, and we moved out to Georgia. And I came out here, and she was like, hey, like, don't worry about getting a job. I'm making enough right now. Try full time. And it failed miserably. Lost all my clients, like everything died. All the studios in Miami stopped casting me. It was like career implosion. It was crazy. Tried streaming, didn't work. And then finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get a job. I'm like a normie, gross. So I was, applying for stuff and looking for things, and I ended up going to Dragon Con that year, 2 years ago now. And Graphic Audio had a booth at Dragon Con. And I had been recording for Graphic Audio as a talent since COVID era. So, like, I was familiar with them. I hadn't done a ton of work for them, but I worked enough to know a handful of the directors. And one of the directors I worked with the most was there. So I introduced myself, blah, 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 whatever, shot the shit a little bit. And then as I was getting ready to leave, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I turned around and I was like, are you guys hiring? And he was like, no, but yes. He's like, not yet. He's like, but, send me your stuff and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll at bare minimum look at it. But we are going to be hiring soon. And a couple months later, February rolls around, and now I am a creative director with Graphic Audio, and that's the very condensed version of that. And of course, somewhere in between, Nokotan happened and Gintama, handful of other things around there. But like, I'll be honest, those stories aren't incredibly interesting. I mean, maybe Nokotan is, but I'm sure we'll end up talking about that a little bit later. But that's the condensed TLDR version of my journey.
I'm curious if you're like me and also Eric to a degree as well. Now I do most of the audio editing for the podcast. Eric handles a lot of the video. Have you gotten to a point, because you have an ear for this, and for me, if I listen to a podcast and the audio is off, the podcast cadence is off or something like that, I can't do it. I can't listen to it. Has that happened with you now that you have a trained ear for stuff? And if anything is off, you're like, I can't do this. I got to find something else. Is it the same for you?
All the time. All the time. And like, it's why I don't watch a lot of stuff. Like, everyone comes to me, it's like, yo, have you seen this new anime? Have you seen this whatever? And I'm like, no, because I can't, like, it's so hard to turn the brain off. Like, the first 3 to 4 years of my career was literally finding mistakes. Like, it's so hard to come back from that. Like, I always use this instance. This is the kind of crap that I pick up on. It's watching Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil series. And there's a scene where they're fighting in the bar, and like, all the shit happens. And then, I think Luke Cage comes out and he's like, y'all better knock it the hell off or whatever. And everyone stops. And then you see on one of the tables, you see this glass bottle roll off the table, fall on the floor. You hear the glass break. The bottle doesn't break. Pulled me right the hell out, and immediately I was like, God damn it. Like, that's the tiniest stupid shit pulls me out, and like, it makes it really hard to enjoy things. At least with like, it makes it really hard to enjoy things. So to answer your question, yes, 100% happens all the time.
For a lot of people, them exiting the MCU was like bad storytelling, but for you, it was just poor sound design. So that's unfortunate, but no, I totally understand.
No, that's actually hilarious. Donald, I feel like you have one that might be itching at you. Like, is there one thing that you like know of that is either not very like well known, or is just something that bugs you? Like, whenever you're watching a movie, a show, like, is there a particular thing that happens that bothers you, or a particular thing in a film or a show that like genuinely bugs you?
Spaceships making noise in space. It's really dumb. But like, Firefly Firefly is my favorite TV show of all time. Breaking Bad, close second. So I'm biased. I'm sorry. Nothing will ever get above that. But they did it right. There ain't no sounds in space. And I think they're like the only ones who did it. And like, I get it. You suspend belief. You want, like when you're seeing ship combat or whatever, like, obviously you need to suspend belief a little bit. But like, the times where they show the ships just, floating in space and they're making noise, I'm like, God damn it. But yeah, that would probably be my stupid pet peeve about stuff like that.
Yeah, knew we had to get it out of the way. We had to just start off, getting you angry. Donald, it's been really cool kind of hearing your journey, because it's so different from a lot of, not just the rest of the Nokotan cast, but voice actors we've had in the past. Like, it's really interesting. It's also really admirable. Like, you putting yourself out there led to a lot of those opportunities. Sometimes it just takes the leap of faith to be able to do that. And I think that's really, really cool. When it comes to the kind of the journey you're on now, are there things that you're like hesitant to do? Are you kind of holding back on things now as work's coming in and as opportunities are coming in? Are you still in that phase where it's hard to say no? Like, what is that balance that you're going through now from, that guy that was getting those opportunities, throwing himself out there on a limb, to what you're doing now? Like, is that something that you continue to try to instill daily, or have you kind of reined that back in a little bit?
As for avoiding certain things, I won't necessarily say I avoid a certain aspect or certain projects. Like there's always going to be projects that I'll never want to do purely because writing's on the wall that it's probably not going to come out or things like that. Like I try to avoid fan projects of other things, and no shade on any of that at all. It's just not something at the point I am at in my career that I really want to do. I tend to kind of also stay away from free work only because I don't have the time. So a handful of things here and there, like if someone comes up and says, and it's a really cool thing and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, bet I'm in. Things like that'll come up. But honestly, one of the main things that I'm starting to pivot away from actually is dubbing. I've I had my 10-year cycle down in Miami, right? And it's very weird. You can kind of notice it in mainstream anime as well. You'll have a new actor, right? They'll pop up and they'll be the lead in everything for 10 to 12 years, and then they start their down into some more supporting. They'll get a lead here and there still. They're still really good, but they start on their down, downward into not obscurity, but they don't get as many big things anymore, but they don't need to. It's they have so much other stuff that they're probably doing. But I had that cycle as well down in Miami. It was whoop, and then I hit my, I came down, but I never went back up, So I moved up to Georgia, lost all my clients and everything. And I've basically had to rebuild my career from the ground up the past couple of years. And I'm finally starting to get back into a better position. I still do dubbing. It's not that I hate it. It's just dubbing is notoriously low pay and it's not always, and it's some studios are just not fun to record for or work with. And, that's just the truth of the matter. I would totally still, I'd go, I would record for any of the big anime houses, of course, if the opportunity arose. But when it comes to just dubbing in general, I've kind of started to pivot and I'm starting to move more into audiobooks. So, I'm just I did that. I want to try and test out some of the other things. I'm also really trying to break out into video games. That's been a challenge and a half. Nothing yet, but you just keep trying. I don't know if that answered your question. I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but
No, it did. No, it did. Because again, I know your journey, getting to this point has been different. And I figured your journey now is probably a little bit different than, Rue and Josh and Bay, as close knit of a group as you guys are. And we'll talk maybe again a little bit about that here in a moment. But Phil, a good transition to you, you're so early into your journey, and I know that you are looking at some of these other things, whether it is dubbing something, whether it is audiobooks, gaming. So I think that's just really interesting to kind of hear how many other opportunities there are, and that they're very similar, but they're not always just a guaranteed lock to get in because you do one thing. So Phil, I figured you had some pretty good insight and maybe a good question to throw in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Donald's saying, he's 11 years into his journey. I'm barely a year in. So I am looking to find creators with free projects that I can jump on because I need to make a demo, and I need to get stuff on the books. And it's very interesting to, as you kind of, I love people being able to say, farther along in their journey, they have control over what they do and do not want to work with. I got chosen for an audiobook pretty early on, and then I realized I'm not going to have the time to both record this and edit it, and I had to pass on it, and then that was a really valuable lesson for me to learn. So that was really, really great too. But yeah, it's video. Actually, I have a funny story. Just the other day, a game that I had submitted an audition for that I wasn't chosen for on casting call club went up on Steam and was on the front page. I was like, hey, these guys didn't pick me. Everyone who give bad reviews to this game, don't do that, please. It looks very fun. But it's crazy to see Like that was one of the first times I ever saw like one of the things I auditioned for just out in the ether. I was like, oh, I recognize that logo. So I would really like to know because obviously, everybody we've talked as far as your castmates, everybody is remote and it is kind of I don't want to say it's a newer thing, but a lot of people, just like when it came to stand up comedy, which I did for a long time, or even acting, everyone was like, you got to go to New York, you got to go to LA. You're in a hub when it comes to at least what I think of as far as film when it comes to Atlanta and also TV. Have there been any advantages to being in a larger area when it comes to an Atlanta, or have you not seen really too much of a difference from, obviously you said when you were in South Florida, you were getting a lot of roles and then all of a sudden that dried up. So has there been anything advantageous to being in a bigger city for people that are thinking about maybe leaving where they currently are to go somewhere else?
For me personally, no. I thought it would. But when I had first moved up here and and I had nothing, like I was I was emailing all the post studios, any ADR places, like anything and everything, and like nothing, no responses, no nothing. And of course now Marvel's leaving Atlanta. If you were unaware, they're moving to the UK, which is a huge hit because like my next door neighbor works in transpo for film. My neighbor, one street over, he's a visual effects person. Like he does a lot of the casting and molding. Like he worked on Guardians of the Galaxy, Blade, the unreleased Blade that never came out. He was like I've stopped on that show so many damn times. But he worked on that. He built the Fortress of Solitude for the new Superman. So like all these people, they're gonna take some big hits. But for me personally, it hasn't been incredibly advantageous. But if I was looking to be an on-screen actor or get into like post for film and movies and stuff like that, I'm sure it would be a lot easier to get those jobs here than it would be anywhere else. And that's not to say moving somewhere isn't going to help you. Like studios like, Crunchy and what's the other one? Crunchy and Sentai. It's one of those things where you 90, was it 90 something percent of the actors have to live there to work there, and everyone who doesn't are people who have worked there in the past but now maybe live in LA or something like that, and things like that. But so for me, no, but it has totally helped other people. Just if you do decide to make that kind of jump, be prepared. Like don't just do it on a whim. Be like, I'm gonna be a voice actor and I've been doing it for 6 months. I'm gonna move to Texas. Don't do that because you're gonna get chewed up and spit out. Like get some stuff under your belt before you go and make those jumps. Not telling you not to do it. Totally do it if you want to do it, but be like make sure you're in a good place before you make that kind of jump.
Yeah, I know a lot of Jacksonville-based actors they'll go up to Atlanta for a day. They'll film, a show. They'll be an extra in a TV show, and they'll spend like a couple days, like a weekend, a week up there. And they'll try and do as much as they can, and they come back. So, yeah, I could definitely see it being much different when it comes to voiceover. Not necessarily being as you mentioned, as advantageous in terms of your hub or wherever that is. We've talked to both Bay and Rue, who mentioned they started off with a blanket over their head and a microphone and a laptop. And you know what? You guys can certainly do that too. So, Eric, just curious, because that I have plans of eventually, I'm from Dallas, not when I went to high school there. So, like, I do have kind of roots there but the West Coast calls to me like the Green Goblin mask, man. Like, I want to go out there so bad. Talk about weather. I definitely want to end up in, not necessarily LA. I'd like to maybe be in like a San Diego or like the outskirts, something like that. But yeah, you know me, Eric. I am sorry, Jacksonville. I'm trying to bounce.
Yeah, he's itching. He's itching to leave. Donald, let's kind of bring it towards, we've mentioned a couple of your castmates from My Dear Friend Nokotan, which is obviously how we got to meet you, which was just such a vibe. Like, again, the four of you especially really made a mark, and it was really cool to see you guys interacting with fans. Really exciting to see you guys interact with each other, and just the whole vibe that you've had. So I kind of want to turn it to that question of like your interactions with your castmates and the experience you've had going to conventions. Like, what has that been like to you? Again, something that is, I wouldn't say out of the norm maybe for you, but I'm sure it was maybe a culture shock at first. Like whenever somebody goes to their first con, I'm always interested to hear like what was that culture shock for you.
So, yeah, that was it. Bricks. It was Brick City. I get Brick and Bold mixed up
Yeah.
all the time. So it was Brick City. Okay. Yeah. So that was the first time I had met Rue, which was awesome. But actually, my first convention was this really, really small convention in, I want to say Sarasota, somewhere over on the west coast of Florida. It was called Southwest Florida Con. And we were there for Gintama. They had pulled like 8 of us for Gintama to go over there. And we did that and it was terrible. We were not prepared. We didn't have prints. We had headshots with our characters on them, and that's what we were selling. We weren't ready. We didn't know, and Gintama had been out for like a year or two at that point already, so like the hype was gone. And we didn't think about it. It was just one of the guys was like, "Hey, why aren't we doing conventions?" And I was like, "Yeah, why aren't we doing like whatever?" And we did that, but then we got to go to SuperCon. So that was super dope. It was the SuperCon right after COVID, so it was like that first big convention. And that was interesting because it was super weird because you had the plastic panels in front of you to not touch people and things like that. So that was a very weird thing after going to conventions for so long as like an attendee. And it was really cool. And then getting to do with Nokotan was the first time I've really been able to travel for these conventions. So that's been really, really, really cool. I've been visiting places I've never been, and that's what I get out of it, man. Like I love meeting the fans, and I love seeing new places and things like that. I mean, as for culture shock rise, I don't know. I lost the plot a little bit. Sorry, that happens a lot.
No, I mean, like it was an interesting time to do it. Like conventions feel like they're just now finally getting back to the groove of what they were. And honestly, Phil, any convention that we go to is like significantly different from the other one. So like sometimes it's a culture shock across the board.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like all the the different conventions we did. Honestly, Bold and Wasabi Con, which I think those were like our first 2 for Nokotan, were incredible, and I still think were the best conventions we did. Like it was awesome. Like we didn't expect much, like I had already done a couple conventions and got nothing. So I was like, hey, temper expectations. Like it is a big show, but it's not the big show, I was like, so temper expectations, don't expect whatever. And it was great. So much blew expectations out of the water. Those 2 conventions were amazing. And then all the other ones, they were good. They weren't bad. But going down to because we had did Jacksonville basically twice in 8 or 9 months, which was a bad mistake. Live and let, well, mainly because everyone who had went to WasabiCon had, it was 9 months ago. They had already seen us. Why are we going to go to the same city twice in the same year? It's kind of, learning experience for everything. But those conventions have been great. And then we've had others that have been not amazing. And I will not name any of them on where you can tie it to me. But yeah, of course you can't win them all, some conventions you just don't make sales, or they treat you like crap, or anything like that. And it's all part of it. It's all right, heard, not gonna go to that one again, but yeah, the getting to meet you guys at Brick, and you guys were at Bold too, right?
We were.
I know there was
yes.
another. Yes. Okay. I was like, I know we've done more than one together. So I was just, I'm like, again, 2 Bs, relatively somewhat close-ish. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. And Phil, I think this would be a good pivot. We typically like to talk some pop culture stuff, but did you have any other questions from dubbing standpoint, audiobooks, anything like that you kind of wanted to dive in?
No, well, I'll ask one question convention related here in a moment, but I do want to shout out Donald because multiple times he has live troubleshooted with me via Instagram in terms of trying to figure out some of my audio. So thank you very much for that. You do not have to do that or take the time, so I appreciate you. As two people who have never been to a Dragon Con, and the first time I ever looked into it, I was like, this is overwhelming. We're not going this year. We're going to have to try another year. Do you have suggestions for newbies who have never been or experienced a Dragon Con? I did confirm, Eric, that I did learn there are vendors there. I just never see pictures of them. But I just assumed everybody hung out in the hotel lobby because that's the only pictures I ever see from Dragon Con. So do you have suggestions for someone who has never been, for a couple people who have never been but want to go?
Sure. So I've only been once, that one time. I haven't gone since. Not for lack of trying, it's just it doesn't line up time-wise. But so to set expectations a little bit, being in Florida, you've been to MegaCon, the biggest con in Florida.
Yeah.
It's like 4 of those.
Jesus.
It's
we already stopped going to
so-
MegaCon because it's overwhelming.
So Dragon Con is incredibly overwhelming. But it is like I will always recommend it because MegaCon, with the amount of people they have, everyone's shoulder to shoulder, all the aisles are cramped in and whatever, so something about Dragon Con and where it is in Atlanta, right? So Dragon Con takes place over about, I think it's 5 hotels. So it's 5 buildings. The dealer's room is 4 to 5 stories of vendors selling stuff. The reason you're not finding pictures of the vendor hall is because no one takes pictures in the vendor hall because it's crazy. And you don't hang out in the vendor hall like you do at any of these other conventions. The vendor hall is the vendor hall. If you're going to go hang out, you're going to do it somewhere else. It's 5 hotels. It's a nonstop party. That was something I wasn't ready for. But we only went for one day, and it's I think a 5-day convention or something like that, or a 4-day convention, and they do the parade and everything like that. But one tip I will say is before you ever go, make sure you look at the panels and make sure you block out time to see those panels, because if you don't, you won't go. You won't get there. If you want, you're all right, I recommend also taking 1 day to do the dealer's room. Just one. And one of those things, it's not like you can go in and out. If you go in that dealer's room, don't come back out because you're going to have to wait 3 or 4 hours to get back in. When we went, so we showed up, we got our tickets and everything, and we lined up outside the dealer hall. This was an hour and a half before the place opened, and the line wrapped around the building twice. So it is insane. But you get into the dealer's room, even at full capacity, you don't feel claustrophobic, which blew my mind. It was crazy. I was the aisles are wide, the vendors have space, there's space to move. It felt really, I was for the amount of people that's here, it does not feel as crowded as it is, which was amazing. But again, you look out the window and you see the line wrapped around the building 8 times of people just move, and the lines never stops moving. People are always coming in, but it's a lot. And then the panels are in a completely different building. So that's why I say, if you want to do panels, don't do it on a day where you're going to go to the dealer's room, because you're not going to leave. You're not going to want to leave because you won't get back in. The Artist Alley is also in a different hotel. The Tabletop Gaming is in a different hotel. It's crazy, but all the hotels are connected by either sky bridge or underground tunnel, which is pretty dope. So there's the MARTA station, which is our train, our metro train, is actually underground, and it goes right underneath where Dragon Con is. There's a train station right there. So what I'm going to do next year, or when the next time I go, is I'm just going to drive to the MARTA station, take the train in, and do it like that, because I'm sorry, fuck parking in Atlanta, and fuck parking for Dragon Con even more. So that's it. I would say, make sure you really have to plan efficiently to make do with your time. If you're only going to go for 1 day, don't plan on seeing panels, or I should say either plan on doing the panels and other stuff or the dealer's room. You're probably not going to really be able to do both. But there's a lot of really cool stuff to see, and it is an amazing convention. It's incredible. I'm very excited to go back. Hopefully we're going to do it again next year, because it just happened while I was on vacation. Otherwise we would have went. But yeah, those three tips I think are pretty good. Now, this is also coming from one person who only went once. I'm sure Dragon Con veterans can totally, give you some more better tips about the parties and the, and staying safe and things like that. But since I wasn't staying there, I didn't have that part of the experience.
I will say this. I definitely think another part of it for me is, listen, I've driven in Los Angeles and I've driven in Atlanta, and Atlanta is the city I at least like to drive my car in the entire country. I hate it so much. Every time I drive to Atlanta, we usually stop like an hour before ahead of time so I can switch seats with somebody and let them drive into the city because I hate it. So, but yeah, Eric, we just had to gather all those tips as much as we can before making that Dragon Con leap. Because yeah, it's something we certainly would want to commit multiple days to for sure.
So driven in Atlanta, DC, LA, and Miami. I don't care
Miami
what anyone
sucks.
says. Miami is the worst one.
Forgot about Miami.
Fight me.
Oh my
I have
God.
people in LA telling me LA's worse. I have people in Atlanta telling me Atlanta's worse. I'm like, y'all can fuck off. Miami is the worst.
Miami
I don't care.
Sucks.
Fight me.
No.
Fight me.
I agree with you. Miami sucks, man. Maybe the reason we haven't been down to one of those conventions down there, like SuperCon or whatever they do, the GalaxyCon shows.
Yeah. It always, the Miami ones and the Atlanta ones always come up, and then we find like 1,000 reasons not to do it. But I think Dragon Con's the one that will probably bite. Sooner than later.
I will say, Eric, it was actually the 1-year anniversary, I think, yesterday, of myself, Eric, my sister, and brother-in-law. We drove down to Sunrise to go see Childish Gambino. Oh, that's weird. I'm wearing this shirt. And we did a quick turnaround. So we went down and came back. And that wasn't too bad, but like that final stretch and there's just nothing. It's just boring.
Yeah.
It's so bad. We did pretty well. So like we left in the afternoon, early afternoon, and then we got back the next morning at like 4 a.m. And we were all like, oh, we're too old for that ever again. But totally worth it. Great show. And he also ended up having to cancel the tour after that for health reasons. So at least we got to see it right before that happened.
Yeah, which was really nice.
It was worth it, but never again.
Never again. Yeah, no. We're not that limber anymore. But Donald, I did want to ask, so I actually made a note of this to talk about it before we get into some of the more casual stuff. You were talking a little bit in the pre-show about how like this year has gone for you, and like it's been a minute since you haven't been working on this project. So tell me a little bit about like your work with the Stormlight Archive, because that's like, first of all, huge. Second of all, super exciting. Like, what has been your experience? And like, that's something you're still actively kind of like devoted to. So give us a little bit of insight into that, as much as you can, of course, keeping that in mind.
Yeah, no, I can totally talk about it. Because so for anyone not familiar, a Stormlight Archive is a epic fantasy series by Brandon Sanderson. I love him personally, but he's not everyone's cup of tea. Like I get it. I'm not going to be the guy to be like, you don't like Brandon Sanderson? You can't be a friend of mine. Like, no. But it's been incredibly rewarding and infuriating. Like, so have you ever seen a Stormlight book out in the wild?
The cover looks
perchance?
familiar.
I don't know about the Stormlight one. I mean, I've seen Brandon Sanderson books out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like The Way of Kings always comes up on like as an example of like books that will just pop up on my feed and people will talk about like, I read this and it was amazing. And it's always like books like that where the covers really stand out to me.
Yeah. So Way of Kings is the first Stormlight book. But what I was going to bring up is that they're big boys. Wind and Truth, which is book 5, the one I'm working on, is the biggest one yet. It's like barely under 500,000 words. I thought I had the book in here. I don't. It is huge. Like, I think it's on your hand. I think it's like this. It is massive. And so that's been a big challenge. So, that's why I should say that's why it's been taking so long. The way graphic audio works is like if a book is exceptionally long, they'll split it up into parts. And that used to be because of storage restraints, way back in the day, because they used to release stuff on CD. That's how old graphic audio is. So it's split into 5 parts, 10 sides per part, which are basically like 10 sections. And each section is about 10 to 50, usually around 10,000 words or so. So it's like each part is about 100,000 words. Being the 5th book means you know, a lot of creative choices and things like that had already been done for me, you know. I am the third director, I think. Second or third, it's a little convoluted who did the first couple. So that's been a hurdle because, you know, having to one massive cast list. So I'm like having to go through this gigantic old cast list to try, you know, be like, all right, who was this character, who plays them, things like that. So like going through massive amounts of characters, trying to figure out who plays who, figuring out which characters had their names change halfway through, because like, you know, sometimes the characters will name change and then they'll cast someone else as as a different actor, but it's still the same character. So I'm like, all right, what timelines do I need to readjust to make it all make sense and things like that. The name pronunciations. um there's also an incredibly difficult side to this. There is an entire group of people in this series that speak to rhythms to convey emotion rather than normal emotion. We have rhythms that they have to speak and hum to. Is really hard. It's really hard. Um so like those are some big challenges, and also having to recast some of the prominent characters. Like I've had like big, like that's the main complaint I've seen a lot of people have with Wind and Truth, and some of the other ones is having to recast main characters. Like the character, I think one of the main characters, Adolin, he's been recast twice, I think. Like a couple of the main characters have all been recast a handful of times. You know, the series has been going on for Jesus, who know, like really long. Like the first book, the first graphic audio version of Stormlight came out, and I'm waiting for the page to load. 2016, so almost 10 years. This series has been going on with graphic audio. So, like, of course, you have some actors who stop working or even die. Like, it's been that. But, like, the main challenge has been trying to maintain continuity based on everything that came before me. That's the hardest part. You know, so making sure the characters stay true to themselves, making sure all the, like, the, you know, continuity is there, and trying to decipher these goddamn notes from the previous director, and also the main sound designer who used to be the director um on like the first couple parts. When he quit graphic audio, he took all his sound effects and music with him that he made, because he did a lot of custom music and sound effects for the thing, just took them, left. And I'm like, okay, so I don't have these anymore, and I have no reference. So I'm like, I felt so bad for my designer. I was like, hey man, like we're gonna have to recreate like all of these effects that were like have been around since book one that we no longer have, and you know, things like that. Like just trying to make everything cohesive with all the books that came before. That's been the biggest challenge. I'd say. But the talent's been great. The, you know, script adaptation has been, it's been really fun, but like, again, incredibly frustrating trying to solve those problems. And just because the book is so dense, you know, it just takes a long time. Like, yeah, I started on it in December of last year, and I am just now starting the adaptation process on part 5, which is the final part. So, you know, parts 1 and 2 are out. Part 3 will be out this month at some point, and I think part 4 comes out in like November, and I think part 5 is going to be January or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. The dates aren't completely final yet. Um, but yeah, man, it's been a hell of a ride. Incredibly proud of what we've done so far. I think it sounds amazing. And, you know, to be able to work on a Sanderson property in an official capacity has been like a real dream come true as someone who's been a Sanderson fan for a pretty long time.
Yeah,
So
it's super cool. I mean, I'm not even in that world because I can't read. I can't read. But it's just like really cool to hear about that. I'm just overwhelmed of the book from afar. So I can only imagine how you're feeling. Phil, has that ever been like, has Brandon Sanderson ever been on your radar? Like, again, for people who are in it, like he's like the guy. He's like the guy, right? But for us, Phil, probably something we'll never dive into. What is that something that you would do? Because again, you do tend to read books from time to time. What would it take for you to jump into one?
Well, for me, I mean, it's always an audiobook. So the most recent thing, of course, that I did was Project Hail Mary, because they kept spoiling the movie I'm spoiling the book in the trailer. So I was like, let me listen to this damn thing. So yeah, I never say never, just because that is so it's so accessible in terms of audiobooks now. It's like I'll probably do one or two a year. So that would be the way that I would definitely go into it. So love hearing how much work goes into it. I feel kind of bad now for complaining about 150,000 words from the project that I got selected for earlier. Donald's like, "You bitch, do it." So, but no, it was it's really cool hearing some of the behind the scenes. I guess one question I'll ask when we're talking about audiobook: does listening to an audiobook count as reading? Some people have strong opinions about this.
Fuck them. Yes, it does. I don't care. You're consuming the media, dog. Like, because I'm the same way, bro. I can't read. Like, it's hard for me to sit down and read a book. I don't know why. I feel like it's wasting time. And, like, it's not. It's perfectly fine. But, like, for whatever reason, my internal clock is like, don't do that. Why don't you just sit and stare at your computer screen and not do a goddamn thing for 3 hours and look at your Steam library?
I was just going to say, which one of these games in my Steam library am I not going to play tonight?
So I totally, consume the media how you want to consume the media. Like, read the audiobook, fuck the haters. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, if it really, if it chaps their ass that much that you listen to the audiobook and didn't read the book, they need to go touch grass. Like, people need to stop letting stupid little things like take control of their lives.
Yeah, so, and also, just like we talked about earlier in terms of like a bad audio or anything or quality can ruin a podcast for me or whatever, a great narrator in a book, man, the narrator for Project Hail Mary is Ray Porter, I believe. And people, like, after I finished the book, I got a bunch of Instagram reels about people also that had just finished the book, and everyone was like, you guys got to listen to this audiobook. So, like, a really great narrator can change the entire thing. So that's why I also listen to a lot of, like, autobiographies. So if it's read by the person, like Eric, I've listened to Leslie Odom Jr.'s and he reads it, it's him, or Simu Liu, so it's really cool to hear them. JoJo, like, whenever they read it themselves, I love that as well. So, but Donald, what do you do? You said you just took a vacation, so that's great. But in between work, and Eric and I can also very much relate to this, because we're sitting, like you said, we're sitting at these screens all day, and eventually we have to step away and do something else on the screen. What do you do for yourself? What are those things that you nerd out on? You just actually, before we started talking about a collection that you're starting to put together here, that if you're not watching on the YouTube version of this podcast, is very prominently displayed. So what do you do for yourself to kind of kill some time? What fandoms are you into and stuff like that?
So, I guess we can start with, like, on my screen, I know it like, I can't quite see it. It's a little cut off, but I've started kind of going back and collecting some of my old childhood consoles. It started with the Dreamcast, and I got a Super Nintendo, an original Nintendo, and a PS1. So I've just been collecting that. Like, I actually recently just finally beat disc 1 of Final Fantasy 9. So, like, I've been slowly working through that. That was one I never played. So I'm like enjoying that. So retro gaming a little bit. I also have like a handheld Ein Odin 2. So, like, I do some retro gaming and stuff on that as well. I also, I play MMOs too. Like, I'm currently playing Horizon 11, which is a Final Fantasy 11 like private server with like some added extras. Like, it's like they're basically taking the game, keeping it at the level cap of the original game, and then like releasing the old content. But so everything's like horizontal versus like having to level up and whatever it is. It's fun to me. It's an MMO I never played back in the day. So, like, all my friends who are playing it with me are like living vicariously through me, redoing all the stuff they've done when they were kids, and I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And they're like, yeah, it is. I remember my first beer, like that kind of thing. But outside of gaming and stuff like that, I do mountain biking. Not so much recently because, again, Stormlight's been my whole life pretty much, so I used to be able to take an hour or two in the morning and go for a ride before work, but now I can't really do that until Stormlight's over, just because it's just so dense. But I do mountain biking, and that's my touch grass, go outside moments. And, traveling when I can. I do write a little bit. I don't have anything to like, put out there yet, but like one of my goals probably for within the next 5 years maybe would be to try and produce like my own audio drama or book or something like that. I've been really, really, really wanting to do that recently, and the itch is starting to itch really bad, so I'm probably going to start trying to dive into that a little bit more. But yeah, man, gaming, mountain biking, uh, you know, uh, general nerd stuff. Again, I don't watch a lot of stuff, but old school animes, of course, are still my bread and butter. Now, to preface, I do not condone the mangaka's behavior at all, but Rurouni Kenshin was my favorite. I don't support Watsuki at all. But luckily for me, before the allegations came out, I had already pretty much bought the entire manga, the anime series, everything. So I've got it all. I could still enjoy the media relatively guilt-free, I should say. I still feel bad, but I'm like, look, I bought all these things before all the shit happened, so like whatever, and I'm not actively supporting him. Like I haven't watched the new show. I haven't, bought anything like licensed firsthand. Like everything's always secondhand or anything like that. But Rurouni Kenshin was like the first anime that really like locked me in. Outside of Dragon Ball Z, which I think it was everyone's like thing, but like Rurouni Kenshin was the first one that I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like it's more like realistic but awesome. I don't know, it's one of those. But yeah.
One of the things that you kind of mentioned with the gaming is that something like, are you just the classic, like you like playing the classics, you like the nostalgia, or is there anything?
Look at that boxy TV back there, boy.
I was
Look
gonna
at that.
say-
Look at that thick boy back there. God damn.
I was gonna say, you mentioned trying to stream it at one point and stuff like that. Like, is there anything in like the last decade that has scratched that itch? Anywhere close to what you get when you get from playing those nostalgic games? Like anything in the past decade that's really caught your eye or is like stand out to you?
Baldur's Gate 3. Definitely Baldur's Gate 3. That thing sucked me in and would not let me go for a while. And surprisingly enough, I actually don't have that many hours in. I think I beat it in it was between 70 and 80 hours. Because to be fair, like in the early game, I was like, I gotta do everything. And then by the time I got to the third act, I was like, I just need to finish this fucking game because my ADD is gonna make me not want to play it anymore. So like, I need to finish it. So I kind of like streamlined the back end a little bit. But that game was like incredible. And of course, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was pretty gameplay wise amazing. The story, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it, but one of the later acts, there's a trope in there that I am not a fan of, and it immediately like made me not want to finish the game. But that's me personally. I will never not recommend the game. It's incredible. Like gameplay wise, like they shook up the turn-based formula so well. Like if y'all haven't tried it or haven't played it, highly recommend. And I mean, outside of that, like there's some things here and there, like honestly hard to say, but like those are like the two standouts for me of the past, however long, that have really like grabbed me and held me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, two of the biggest games that have come out in recent memory too. And like Baldur's Gate 3, I played with a couple of friends on my PlayStation. I was like, number one, I'd rather play this on a PC, which I now have. And then number two, I'd rather play it by myself because nobody likes the choices I'm making. So I just would get yelled at constantly, but then also told that I can't be told anything. So I have to figure it out on my own. It was a very weird dynamic at play. But Claire Obscure is actually going to be the episode that drops before this one. So I have finished the game, and Phil was at the end of Act 1. I told him he had to get to the end of the Act 1 for obvious reasons. But at that point, he could kind of talk about the game to a specific capacity. And I agree with you. Like, Claire Obscure, I get why a lot of people kind of tried to push it as like Game of the Year frontrunner. It's a great game, but story and character-wise might be the weakest elements. Like, I definitely think the combat is what kept me going for so long. But there was, I mean, Act 2 is also just long as fuck. So I was like, I gotta get through it. And I wasn't too fond of it. But who knows? Maybe I'll like it. They're doing a live action adaptation. So, Phil, maybe that'll be good.
We'll see.
I want to point out, spoiler, as spoiler free as I can be, getting to the point that I think you know what I'm talking about, where you get to the end of the game and it's not the end of the game. I'm not going to tell you where that happens. But it's like you get there and then the thing happens and I was like, oh, come on. Like, I was like, bro, suck me right out. Like, you had me. Because, like, I was digging the story. I loved it. I loved the mystery. Some of the characters were a little but, like, overall, like, I was really digging the story. I was like, I'm like, I gotta, fight this bitch. Like, I gotta do this thing. I do this whatever. I gotta save these people. Do this shit. Like, I want to uncover the mystery of what the fuck is going on. And then I did. And I don't like it.
Yeah,
But,
I would have been cool with it just being, the paintress and Renoir and then, stuff like that. But then, like, again, they try to do a lot. I would say that whole third act, I was like, all right, let's wrap this one up. Let's wrap it up. But yeah, no, Phil, Claire Obscure talk is always great. I know you still have to beat the game, but it'll be I'm still very curious what your reaction's going to be.
Yeah, I also had to lower the difficulty because I suck at parrying and dodging. So I'm like playing just to get the story elements because, like, yeah, it's just not my thing. No matter what the game is. I think the only one, I mentioned this when we recorded the other night, like the only one I was kind of okay at outside of like Batman and Spider-Man, but that's because there's very clear indicators of when you're supposed to hit the button, was like Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like okay at that. But otherwise, parrying and dodging, not my bag, man. So I am excited to get through the game and have my thoughts on terms of the ending, because yeah, now that you're the second person that has also said that, we haven't talked to a whole lot of people, Eric, that have finished the game, so that is very interesting to hear from both of you for sure. What is, as somebody who has collected some old school consoles, you also have obviously experience with the newer stuff. I always like to ask this question: what's the best video game controller ever?
Probably the DualShock, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the like, I mean, the Xbox controller is great too, honestly, like the way it is, but it's a tie, man, between the Xbox controller and the DualShock. I hope don't break it, but yeah, man, I think I'm like sitting here like, what's more comfortable, having the thumb up here and down here, or both down here?
Eric, grab your controller. We all have to.
I have mine in arm.
Everyone grab their controller.
Like, I'll say the DualShock walked so the new age Xbox controller could run. Like, and I mean, the PS5 controller, the dual, what is it, DualSense, whatever the hell they call it, I don't fucking know. They're great too, but like, anything with the two joysticks, because I mean, like, I've been playing, like, trying to play the Dreamcast like with one stick, I'm like, oh my god, like trying to play Sonic Adventure 2, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And the Dreamcast
like,
had like
so hard. I'm like, how do you
put the memory card in it that also had a screen on it? Like, what?
Yeah, dude, I used to play the Chow Garden on that shit all the time. Like, I mean, to be fair, that's the only reason I beat Sonic Adventure 2 was to get the shit from my Chow Garden.
Yeah, my answer for the longest time was the 360 / the Xbox controller, but you just mentioned I love the PS5 controller. And Eric, I know you don't really use yours that much anymore, but as far as like the evolution of the PlayStation controller, I feel like the PS5 is where they've really, really gotten it down. And I've expressed, not frustration, but like just a wish that it was as compatible on Steam as the Xbox controller, because I just really love using it. I've been able to connect it to my PC, but sometimes it just doesn't work right. So I'm just like, I'm just not going to deal with this, and I'll just use the Xbox one. So yeah, but I love that PS5 controller, man. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, PS5 controller. I mean, especially with Astrobot and Astro's Playroom, like that like really maximized the controller.
And then no one else ever used those features again.
I'll never understand why you can blow into your controller, and that's not just like a mechanic in like multiple games or franchises. I don't understand it. I'll never
heard
get
of Sony. Eric wants to blow into his controller. Make it happen, guys.
Make it happen. But yeah, no, I mean, a little bit of talks on some of the things that you're into, Donald. So what is it going to take for us to get you to watch K-pop Demon Hunters? What is that going to take?
I'm waiting for my wife to come back from deployment.
Hell yeah.
Because I told her, I was like, Nicole, when you come back home, can we watch K-pop Demon Hunters? Because we don't watch a lot of things together because she likes to just sit and read. She doesn't like to watch a lot of things. So I kind of have to force her or coerce her a little bit. But I was like, K-pop Demon Hunters, it's, it's K-pop, the music's good and the whatever. And I'm like, I want to watch it, but like, I'd like to watch it with you. So I'm like, I'm waiting for her to come back from deployment, which is 2 weeks, give or take, something like that. So yeah, my wife travels for work, FYI. But yeah, I'm waiting for her to come home. So you don't got to try too hard. I'm
Okay,
just,
good.
I want to watch it. And if we don't watch it while she's home and she leaves again on another deployment, I'm just going to watch it by myself.
Okay. No, I'm just making sure. Is there anything that you've been wanting to check out that's in your queue? Like anything that you've been like just kind of pushing off to the side, whether it is an anime, maybe a newer series or a show or a movie, anything that's kind of sitting in your queue alongside K-pop Demon Hunters right now?
So in my queue, The Bear was kind of up there. I did start watching that though, so that's not quite in my queue anymore. I haven't finished it yet, but that, bro, arguably one of the most stressful shows I've ever watched in my life.
For sure.
Like,
yeah, Phil couldn't keep watching it. He's like, this is just what you guys dealt with in the restaurant industry. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, like, I lived with bartenders, so like I'm like, this is, it's so visceral. Oh my god. But yeah, so The Bear was one of them. Psychopaths. I want to go back and like actually finish Psychopaths because that series was so dope. I was like, this is the new age Ghost in the Shell, and I'm so here for it. Like, I am ready. And I was enjoying the hell out of it, but then I kind of fell off. The League of Legends show. God damn it.
Arcane.
Yes,
Yeah,
Arcane. Thank you. I think I'm like almost done with season 1.
Nice.
And like, yeah, so like, I do things in like spurts. Like, I'll be like, hell yeah, I'll watch, like with The Bear, I was like, I watched like season 1 in a couple days, and then I just stopped watching it. Or not, see, I got like halfway through season 2, I should say, and then just stopped.
Yeah.
Like, stupid crap like that. But I mean, yeah, those are probably the most recent things that I've like wanted to try to dive back into a little bit.
Yeah, and Arcane's really easy to kind of do that because it has those 3-episode batches that it was released in, so that it kind of is a nice, neat little bow after a couple episodes.
I think that's why I rewatch it so much, is just because of that specifically.
Yeah.
You can get through 3 episodes and you're done with a mini arc, and then they move on to the next one. So season 2 needed a little bit more as far as that. So I'll be interested to hear what you think once you get to season 2. But it's still very, very good. Shout out to them. They just won another Emmy. So yeah. But The Bear, like Eric said, I couldn't get into The Bear like I wanted to, but it does have some of the funniest moments of any show I've ever seen. And also, Forks is one of the best episodes of television that's ever been created. That's the episode title, right, Eric? Forks?
I believe so, yeah, and that's season 2.
2. Yes. So, and so whenever it comes up like on my algorithm, like a clip from that, I'm like, yep, I'm going to sit here and watch this. This is great. So, but yeah, I totally get that. There's just so much to get through, and I'll start something, and then I'll be like, oh, I also want to start this, and maybe I also want to listen to an audiobook or play a video game, and there's just not enough time, man. Not enough time.
Yeah, not enough time in the day, but there is enough time for our final segment of the episode, which is our game. We're really excited to get into this, and I am going to be leading this, Phil, for the first time. So you might have to walk me through some of this. I'm going to do my best, but we are going to play a game of Jeopardy. So you guys should be able to see,
oh Lord,
my screen, a little pop culture Jeopardy.
All right.
Not trademarked.
Factile.
So feel free, if you got to use the QR code, or you could go to playfactile.com/join. You're going to put in the code, and then you're going to select what you want to represent your team. And we've got several different categories. I really tried to go broad with this one. So we are going to see.
Okay.
We're going to see how this goes. These are usually pitted against Phil. But Phil, I will tell you, there are some in there specifically for you.
Okay. It took me to the sign-in screen instead. I think probably because I usually sign in, but let me
Usually sign in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do an onion because I'm
got
Italian.
onion. Hell yeah.
And I get to see all the characters. Actually, we
Yeah.
did play this at work, Eric, the other day, and I had to like tell the I had to tell the instructor how to like use it properly. I was like, "Hey, you can just do this, just so you know."
Nice.
Obviously, I'm going dinosaur. Why is a mosasaur on here? Mosasaurus isn't a dinosaur; it's an aquatic. Okay, never mind. We'll go with my favorite.
You're getting a little too invested.
Okay, we'll go with my favorite
Spinosaurus.
dinosaur.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we got Onion and Spinosaurus.
A tale, a battle as old as time.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
be terrible at this. Oh man.
All right, let's go ahead and begin our game here. So you guys will have your buzzer on your phone, so you can buzz in. Once the question is being read, it will light up after a few seconds. First one to buzz in gets the chance at the actual thing here. Also, Phil, I don't know if you knew this, because you usually have people send in the final factile answer. It looks like they can enter it, so I'm gonna try to do that feature.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we're gonna see if that actually works. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the categories. So you guys are gonna see 6 categories here: blockbusters and bombs, video game icons, name this meme, 90s kid, 2020s moments, and pop culture geography. So Donald, as our guest, you get to select the board first. Where would you like to go and how much?
Huh. I'm gonna be an asshole. Let's do 90s kid for 1,000.
Hell yeah!
And I'm gonna
That's
miss
right.
it. I know it's gonna be something so stupid. I'm gonna know and I'm gonna miss it, but screw it. Let's
I'm
do
really
it. If I'm gonna
excited.
lose,
All
I'm gonna lose right off the
All right, 90s kids for 1,000. What 90s kids show aired on Fox Kids where a band of kids transform into comic book heroes after a ghost grants them powers, battling comic villain adversaries?
You know, it's fantastic because I was the one kid who didn't watch Fox Kids. I did Cartoon Network.
Ghost grants them powers.
This one is going to be interesting. No buzzers.
Oh. I'm
No
not gonna risk
buzzer.
$1,000. Are
Clueless.
you out of your mind?
Yeah, it's like like you got damn.
Was I the only person who watched Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Oh my god, you're right, son of a bitch.
Beetleborgs.
I had the toys, man. I had the toys.
Dude, Beetleborgs was my shit.
Yeah.
Beetleborgs
I didn't
was
watch
my
it, but I
shit.
remember them.
So I was more of a I knew of the Beetleborgs because my neighbor was a Beetleborgs kid and I was a Power Rangers kid.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, okay. Like I know of the Beetleborgs. I guess I never actually paid attention to the show.
Yeah,
Shit.
no, Beetleborg slaps. Donald, that's okay. You guys are evened up. You got equal disappointment.
Top of the bottom.
So that's good.
And yeah, nobody's in the negatives. Where would you like to go and how much?
Me again?
Mhm.
Yeah, because nobody got it, so it's still your board.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's do name this meme for 400.
Okay, name this meme 400. This meme holds a single caption from one of the most famous movies of all time to describe what people can't do.
Single caption for one of the most famous movies of all time to describe what people can't do.
It's okay. Got about 10 seconds.
Single
okay,
caption,
guys.
one of the most famous movies of all time.
It's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be so
You guys
dumb.
are
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
know
mad.
it too. Then we're gonna get mad. I
This
know
is
we're
an
gonna
all-
get mad.
This is an all-timer. All right, let's go ahead and reveal our answer.
I buzzed. Whoops.
Okay. Well, you
I
buzzed.
don't know the answer. I went to go put my phone down and I hit it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna skip it anyway. I'm not gonna deduct you. All right. The answer.
Oh,
simply
son of a bitch.
from Lord of the Rings.
One does not simply.
If you would have put simple, if you want one doesn't, yeah, that would have given it away though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was difficult. All
What
right.
a fucking roll tonight.
Well, guys, we shall see if I created the hardest game of pop culture Jeopardy to date. It is my first go at this, so Phil, I now do not envy you. Donald, it's still your board though. It's still your
You also
board.
did one more row than I
right.
typically do. I only usually do 4.
I didn't know I could remove a row.
Yeah.
So, no, I know
right.
that now.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Let's do.
Fucking
All
Joe,
right.
we're doing it live.
Let's do video game icons for 200.
Okay,
There
video
we go.
game icons 200. The protagonist of this classic PlayStation game is known for his spins, collecting apples, and crashing.
Damn, how'd you get that before me?
Donald, what is your answer?
Crash Bandicoot.
It is Crash Bandicoot. Very good. All right. You still control the board. Where would you like to go?
Okay.
How much?
2020's moments for 400.
Okay. It's a daily double.
Oh shit! I miss it.
Which sensational court case between two celebrities dominated 2022 online?
I'm not hitting this fast enough.
Donald.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
That is correct. That is correct for the daily double. All right. Well, man, daily double. That looked good. All right.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did it actually? Yeah. No. Okay. That was for 400. You got 800. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because Phil, every time Phil says there's a daily double, I've never seen
work.
that animation.
It would never work.
So I just wanted to make sure. Donald, where would you like to go next?
Let's do 90s Kid for 400.
What virtual pet toy required feeding, cleaning, and care when it hatched from a small egg device popular with the kids in the 90s? Donald.
What?
Oh my god.
I didn't even get the option to hit the button.
Really? I mean, to be
correct.
fair, I was spamming it. I was like, as soon as I
So
saw
was
virtual pet toy, I was like,
Oh, I love that this is working against you, Phil. Yes, Tamagotchi is correct.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys ever get the alien Tamagotchi when it evolved to its fullest form?
No.
I killed it every time.
I did once, and then it got taken away from me in school, so it died while my teacher had it in her desk. So I'll never forgive her.
That's tough. Donald, where would you like to go next?
Let's do pop culture geography for 200. I don't even know what that means.
The fictional city of Gotham is largely based on this real U.S. city. Phil.
Chicago.
That is unfortunate.
Oh my God.
Donald.
That's what I was gonna say. New York.
It is New York.
Metropolis is in New York?
I think Metropolis is Chicago, isn't it?
What's
Yeah.
Oh.
God damn it! I was gonna say
Batman
Chicago
movies
too.
have the bridges in the Chicago.
Man, that's the 200 one too. I thought that was obvious. I didn't know.
The Dark Knight movies have the Chicago bridges in them.
No, like I said, I thought it was Chicago too.
Yeah.
Like I was like, isn't it Chicago?
Yeah. No. No, it is
Yeah,
not.
if you see my face, I was like, shit.
All right. Well, Donald, you're running away with this already. Where do you want to go?
Let's do blockbusters and bombs for 200.
All right. This 1975 film, directed by Steven Spielberg, is often credited as launching the modern summer blockbuster. Phil.
Jaws.
It is Jaws.
It's not what
Great
I was gonna
job.
say. So
I just saw it
good.
in theaters.
I almost said E.T.
It was either Jaws.
That wouldn't
or
have been a
E.T.,
bad guess. Yeah, but Phil just saw Jaws, so like,
Yeah.
Oh, got you.
that was top of
Fantastic.
mind.
Fantastic cinema experience.
Phil,
Yeah,
where
it's a
do
great
you want to
movie.
go and how much?
Let's do video game icons for 4.
This Nintendo game features the titular character as a princess who is often in need of rescue. Donald. Unfortunately,
Wait.
no.
Oh, God damn it!
Donkey Kong.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
no.
shit.
It is Zelda.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
yeah,
I
and
think one or the other.
it was a trick question because I said the titular character, Princess Peach, is not in the title of that game, but Zelda is.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah,
is,
reading comprehension. Florida
listen.
education, man.
Listen,
Public schools, baby.
that was still okay compared to Donkey Kong. That was a choice.
Princess
you mean-
Peach is she's in
She's
Donkey
in the
Kong.
original Donkey
Original
Kong.
Donkey
Is
Kong,
she?
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know anything.
She's the one at the. She's all the way
She's
at
the
the
one at
top.
the top,
She's
trying
where.
to get saved
She's why.
by
Yeah, that's why
Mario.
Mario's trying to save her. So
that can't be true.
it,
All right, Well, it's Phil.
we gotta fight.
Get him.
No.
You're
No,
bigger
no.
than me. I'm kidding.
Phil.
Get him.
Phil, did you who chose that category?
Phil did.
Name this meme for 2.
All right, this meme involves unexpectedly surprising people with a clip of a man dancing from an 80s music video.
It blocked me. I was hitting it too fast.
Apparently, now it's happening to you. Phil, what is this meme called?
Rick rolled.
That is correct.
I figured it out why you couldn't press it, Phil. If you press it too many times while it's gray, it blocks it and doesn't let you hit it.
Oh,
Interesting.
I was like, and it said blocked. I was like, you bitch.
not actually telling you blocked. That's crazy.
D, you bitch.
You didn't even think of the smell, you bitch.
About the smell.
Phil, where do you want to go?
90s kid for 2.
Okay, you guys are going low here, at low confidence. All right. What film directed by James Cameron became the highest grossing movie of the 90s and won 11 Oscars? Phil.
Titanic.
You said that so disparagingly.
I hate that movie, dude.
And it is correct. It is correct. Titanic.
Yeah.
So good.
Except that seeing it as a 90s kid, you like peek up when, the draw me.
Oh yeah, of course. No,
Like,
dude,
of
we
course.
had
I'm definitely
the
asleep.
double VHS.
Yep,
I remember
same here.
I had figured out what time I had to pause when my friends would come over for sleepovers for the boobies.
None of us here have had a unique experience in our life. I think everybody
No.
Everybody
Yeah.
did that.
We've
We have
all
a
lived the same simulation.
Yeah.
We have a 5-minute window. Here we go. All right. Phil, where do you want to go?
Let's just do the last $200 2020
All right.
moments.
What has been the biggest example for the viral pairing of 2 very different movies released on the same day? Phil.
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer.
Wow. I was gonna.
Solid.
I almost said. Was it Endgame and Avatar? I think
Great job.
right.
Mm.
Didn't one of the Avatars come
it was
out
like a double feature, yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something
no,
like that? Mm.
That would technically be it, but Barbenheimer just stuck.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
the
something
that's
about
the
it.
yeah.
Something
sure.
about it. Phil, where do you want to go?
Let's see if I can get back into this right now with blockbusters and bombs for 1,000.
Shit.
Okay.
I'm staying away from video game icons with Donald.
All right, here we go. The failure of this 2015 fantasy film adaptation taught Hollywood that even Hugh Jackman and epic source material can't guarantee success.
Shit.
Donald,
I hit the button.
you did, and I do have
My
to ask you
God.
to answer this.
It just went out of my head. Oh my god. I want to say fantasy. Fuck it, Van Helsing.
Unfortunately,
Which I don't know if it was a bomb, but yeah. I
No,
didn't,
not
yeah.
Van Helsing, which I do love.
Yeah, I love it too.
Oh.
It's great.
I did not know that I hit the button.
Phil, there's no way you know this, so I know for a
We're
fact.
still on. You evened it out still.
Well, he's about
No,
to
I'm
go
about to
negative
go
because he
negative.
buzzed.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate.
Wait.
I don't think there's a timer on you. Technically,
Yeah,
I think that's up to
true.
my discretion.
Hugh Jackman.
You're never gonna get this.
2015.
The level of impressed I'd be if you pulled this out of your ass.
Fantasy film. I'm like trying to think.
Yeah, I don't.
It was
have
probably
The
so
bu-
bad I forgot about it.
What's the one? No, I forgot. I had something like the Golden Hourglass or something like that. Something Hourglass. I don't know. That's the only thing I'm thinking of like that. time frame.
No, it is not the Golden Compass.
Yeah.
No, Daniel Craig in that one, I believe. No, unfortunately, the movie is Pan.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's an adaptation.
He was in that?
He's in Pan.
Yes. Yeah, look at him. He's Blackbeard in that movie.
Interesting.
He's the
That's
bald
him?
one. That's him. Unrecognizable. Honestly,
Yeah.
look up clips from Pan. You'll never believe it.
I'd rather
It
not.
looks
That
terrible.
screenshot looks
It
terrible.
looks
Yeah,
bad.
so-
Look at them juxtaposed on that terrible ship. Like it's
Yeah,
really
right.
bad.
Yeah, maybe we should implement it.
All right.
AI. All right. Anyway, no.
Late to the party.
No.
Pan.
It was a joke. No, it was a joke. It was a joke. All of it was a joke. All right. Yeah, Phil, I think you control the board now. I know your confidence is shaken.
It is. It is. Let's do 2020's moments for 6.
Okay. Which streaming show rapidly became a cultural phenomenon in the 2020s, known for its slick visuals and disturbing undertones on worker exploitation? Donald.
Fuck. God damn it. It's wrong. Slick visuals and disturbing undertones for worker exploitation. God damn it. I wanted to say Orange is the New Black, but now that I got to the back end of it, that's not right.
No. No, it is not. We have taken a turn. Phil, this question's for you.
Squid Games.
Wow, you're going to be so
shit.
angry. It is Severance.
I haven't watched it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
That
It's
question
Apple TV, man. No one's got Apple TV.
That question is specifically for Phil.
No.
Squid Game was a decent answer if it wasn't you, Phil. If it wasn't you saying it. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'll be right back.
Phil, where do you want to go?
To hell. I don't care.
Yeah, it was like I was on a roll. I was like, yeah. Fuck.
I got back to 200. I felt good. Pop culture geography for 4.
Okay. The sitcom Full House is set in this city known for
I
steep
fucked
hills.
up. Oh, okay.
What is it?
San Francisco.
Okay. It is
Yeah,
San
it
I
Francisco.
got the block because I hit the button too. I was like, oh no.
All right. Great job. San Francisco is the answer. Where would you like
Pop
to go?
culture geography for 6.
Let's stick with it. The Cannes Film Festival, known for premieres and famous red carpets, is hosted in this country.
France.
It is France. All right. Making a comeback. Phil?
I know.
Let's do 8. Pop culture geography.
Yep. Negative 400 apiece. We are tied. For 800 to go
away.
positive. The Daily Double.
Oh,
Oh.
there's 2 daily doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fictional nation of Genovia in The Princess Diaries was filmed in this
I didn't
country.
read the question correctly.
I
The
don't know.
fictional nation
Fuck.
of Genovia, Phil, in The Princess Diaries was filmed in what country?
This is totally wrong.
So obviously half the film was filmed in the United States, but for Genovia, where was that filmed?
Trying to think of what that could possibly be of any European country that's running through my mind right now. Scandinavia.
I tried to stop you. I was like, I promise you it's not something like obscure. That is not the answer.
Well, I'm done.
Donald, I see you. Donald, I see you
you
buzzed
did
in.
buzzed.
I did? Oh shit.
Is Scandinavia a country?
I don't know. Maybe are we that we're
Probably.
Florida education at its
Navia.
At its finest.
It's a region. It's not even a country. It's an area.
fucking I don't know, Ireland.
Oh, it really hurts because you were so close. England.
Oh.
God damn it.
Oh,
I was
come
gonna say
on.
England. I'm like, it can't be that fucking stupid. God damn it.
It was.
Scandinavia is it's Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. It's not even one country.
It's not even one thing.
All right,
It's
hey,
a-
we're
it's
both
an
at
area.
negative 2. I feel good.
Yeah,
It's
Hey.
okay.
Negative
Top of the bottom.
2000. Phil, where would you like to go? You just want to finish geography?
Might as well, yeah. And let me
Okay,
not
fuck
touch
it.
the button unless I know it. You read.
This U.S. city is featured in the most movies and TV shows behind only New York and L.A. Donald?
Chicago.
Damn.
Holy
It is
shit.
Chicago.
Damn. Well, good
It
thing. I
is.
was going to guess Dallas, so thank God I didn't go.
So Chicago, and then the next one was Atlanta. So yeah, that is it. And it's a huge margin. It's a huge, California is well above New York, and New York is well above Chicago, and then Chicago and the rest are very close to each other.
Where's Jacksonville in the list?
Get
Non-existent.
fucked.
Non-existent. Donald, you own the board. Where do you want to go?
These moments for 8, I
Okay.
guess.
Let's do it. This 1980s song received a revival after being featured in Stranger Things Season 4.
Fuck. Okay. There's 2 possible things. I'm gonna say running up that hill.
It is Running up that hill.
Because, bro, there also was
Could've been,
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I hit it and I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yep. No, you did good. You did good. Okay, Donald in the lead with negative 200. There's really
Like
no other
watching
way to
two
say
horses with broken legs run a race.
it. Stop.
Shit.
Donald, where do you want to go?
Finish out 20s. Let's do the 1,000. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
For 1,000, this studio just made box office history as the first to ever have 7 consecutive films open above $40 million. This literally just happened, I believe, in the last 30 days. Donald.
A24.
Unfortunately, no,
Yep.
not A24.
Yeah, they've had some misses lately. Otherwise, that was going to be my guess too. I'm not going to risk going negative 3,000.
Understood. Surprisingly, maybe it's Warner Bros.
Oh.
That is very surprising.
Yes.
What was the movie?
They are
Superman?
they beat the record with Conjuring: The Last Rites, which is
Conjuring.
also like the highest grossing horror film like this year. And
Why?
Yeah, and in general, there's like a lot of records that movie.
I love how they were just like, it's a great way to finish up the series, and then immediately the news came out. They're like, we're doing prequels.
Yeah, no, I mean, inevitable.
Also,
Donald,
That's yeah.
although you lost points, you do still control the board. Where would you like to go?
we're not going to have any money to do Final Jeopardy.
I know. We still have a lot left.
Let's do blockbusters and bombs for 4.
For 4. This 2018 superhero sequel crossed $2 billion globally, becoming one of the biggest blockbusters ever. Phil?
Endgame.
No. Not Endgame.
Sequel?
Fuck.
What?
No. Yeah, it is an Avengers sequel, but it is not Endgame.
Ultron, ain't it? Oh.
It is Infinity War.
Oh.
Infinity War is... Oh,
Wait.
Are you saying like all the Avengers movies are one
Are
run of
sequels?
movies?
Yes.
That's dumb.
that is unfortunate.
No.
This
Oh.
one came
Infinity
out
War
in
and Endgame are their
2018.
own things.
So says you.
Technicality.
So says you. Here, I'll lessen it by 2. I'll lessen it by. Oh, whoops! I made it worse. Hold on. All right, I'll lessen it by 2. There we go. Okay. All right. Donald, I believe that was you still. If you want to control the board, where do you want to go?
This meme 600.
Okay.
We're on a fucking roll, man.
This character has had several memes made of him, from his evil alter ego to sipping tea. Phil.
This character?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this character specifically has been memed a lot.
Oh, Kermit.
It is.
I was like, I don't know the name of, I don't know Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name from Django.
That's crazy. Kermit the Frog. Great job. Okay. Where do you want to go?
Blockbusters and bombs for 6.
Okay. This video game live action adaptation was a box office disappointment in 2010, despite being released by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures and having a famous actor's involvement as the lead. Came out in 2010.
Disney.
Video game live action adaptation. Also released by Disney, which I did not know. I did not know this.
Released by Disney, but not produced by Disney?
No, not produced. I believe it was. I believe Jerry Bruckheimer produced it. So I don't know what umbrella that was under, but
fuck.
Yeah. Okay. I actually enjoyed this movie. This was led by Jake Gyllenhaal. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
About that.
Yeah.
Not a bad movie. Not great.
Not bad, but forgettable.
Yeah, definitely forgettable.
Clearly.
Clearly. All right. I believe, Donald, you're controlling the board, or
No,
Phil,
still
that
me.
was you?
Yeah.
Phil?
No, still
Let's
him, yeah.
finish up blockbusters and bombs.
Okay. For 800. The term blockbuster originated during what major conflict?
What? Desert
little
Storm.
a little history question
Vietnam.
for you.
Fuck it.
Okay, Donald.
The fucking the tear down that wall. The fucking with I think Nixon was president. You know what I'm talking about? God damn it, the Berlin Wall.
No,
I don't know.
Not the
Oh.
Berlin Wall.
I did not mean to. Okay.
Phil, please.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
Just any guess.
Hey, I got one. He could get one. Like,
You
because
want a
remember,
pass?
I fucked up the
Yes.
beginning. You know.
Okay, a pass. Okay.
Yeah.
It was World War II.
World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never
Apparently,
have.
blockbuster meant is what they described in for the British described bombs dropping, and then they named it after.
So I wasn't
summer
far off when
blockbusters.
I said Vietnam. So
No, not. I mean, he was probably closer. I think with the Berlin Wall. No, I don't know.
I thought, I was like breaking, I don't know,
It's close.
stupid parallels.
It's okay. Well, listen,
Gorbachev,
tear
this wall.
We still have
Reagan
some time.
smash.
We still have some
That's
time.
exactly
Reagan sleepy.
We have some time to recover here. Phil, where do you want to go?
90s kid for 6.
Okay. In Batman Beyond, what is the name of the young man who becomes the new Batman under an elderly Bruce Wayne?
I don't know his name.
I'll even take first names at this point. Donald.
Terry McGinnis.
Nice.
It is Terry
Yes!
McGinnis.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
There we go. Awesome.
Yes.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
Oh
in a million
God.
years, honestly.
Oh.
All right. Donald, where do you want to go?
Soon, let's close out 90s for 8.
Okay. 90s for 8. There were a popular fashion fad among kids in the 90s that may have looked cool, but sometimes really hurt. I should say there was a popular fashion fad. Donald.
Snap bands?
I will take that. I have slap bracelets.
Okay.
That was the
listed
90s.
here.
Yeah.
The snap
It's like the
bands. Yes. Yeah, those are classics. What do you mean?
I remember. I just thought that was like early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I almost said the skip it, but I was like, that's not
You're gonna wear a
fashion.
skip it to
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, well, because you kind of wear it, but I was like, that's not fashion.
Well, listen, we're moving in the right direction, Donald. Where do you want to go next?
I'll do video game icons for 6.
For our audio only listeners, a little update on the score. We got -600, Donald in the lead, with Phil at -16.
Give you guys
100.
an update on how things are going.
Yeah, but we're okay. We got 5 more options on the board. 600 video game icons. The protagonist of God of War, Kratos, first appeared on which
How?
platform? Donald,
PS2.
that is correct. On the PS2.
I don't want to
All
hit
right,
the button too fast. It's gonna penalize
Donald,
me.
you are now technically in the positive with $0. Where would
Wow.
you like to go? Where would you like to go next?
Let's do icons for 800.
Okay, icons for 800. The Lone Wanderer refers to a character that appears in what video game franchise?
We both put our phone down at the same time.
I'm gonna know it. I know I'm gonna know it.
Mm-hmm.
But I
The
can't think of
Lone
it.
Wanderer. He's alone. He's wandering. What
I'm
video
sure
game?
he is.
What
That
video
bitch.
game? All right. He's going to be alone with no
Is it
answer.
Dark Souls?
It is Fallout.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't do Fallout. I wasn't a
I
Fallout
would've
guy.
gotten that.
All right. Donald, where you want to go?
Do icons for 1,000.
Okay. Icons for 1,000. Which side-scrolling platformer by Ubisoft debuted in 1995 and tasked players with helping the game's hero navigate levels like the Dream Forest and defeat characters like Mr. Dark?
Ubisoft.
A game you might not think of at first glance.
Definitely not thinking of it.
Okay.
Dream Forest.
All right. Time is up.
Stumping.
The answer is Rayman.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't a Rayman kid
Ubisoft.
either, man.
I
Yeah.
was trying to think of any side-scrolling Ubisoft game, and I definitely wasn't
Yeah, I'm
thinking
like,
of
what
didn't
I
come
thought
up.
I thought of Prince of Persia, and I was like, that's not right though.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Well, listen, now, Phil, this is your chance to take over if you get the next two right. Donald, you want to do 800 and then 1,000?
Yeah, let's
Yep,
do
let's
it on the
do it.
list.
Okay. Name this meme for 800. This meme first rose to popularity in 2011 after Tumblr posted a photo from a Japanese animated show of an android mistaking a butterfly for a pigeon. Donald.
So,
Yeah, I'm confused by the question.
I mean, what? How should I answer
why-
this? It's like, is this a
What would-
bird? Like, I don't
Yeah,
like,
it's
or
a
am I
it's a
naming the
phrase that's
meme?
used in the meme.
Or what? What a strange bird, or what a weird bird, or
Not quite.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
fuck.
not gonna deduct you points for that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna deduct you points for that. Phil.
Yeah, because that's what I was. Do we need to know the name of the show it's from? Because I have no idea.
No, you would just like the phrase that's used on the meme.
Is this a thing? Okay.
Is this
Okay.
correct? Is this correct? Good job. All right. Very good. All right, Phil, you could take over by 200
Come down to this.
with this win.
Donald's 0. My
zero?
negative 800.
Let's see
Wow.
what happens. Name this meme for 1,000. This meme doesn't always work, but when it does, it's as good as any Dos Equis beer.
No.
Phil.
Yeah, it's like, I don't, because I
Phil,
know
you
the
buzzed
commercial. I
in.
don't always drink.
Phil, you don't just sit there in silence. Got to answer.
Doesn't always work.
I'm like
but
trying
when
to
it
think of
does,
the actual way it's
as good
worded.
as a Dos Equis beer. I don't always blank, but when I do,
So this one, you need to explain what the meme is. Any description of what this meme is.
so like I don't always.
Not the phrase.
Oh,
Not the phrase. What is the meme of?
the Dos Equis guy.
I will take that.
Okay. Do you want it? Okay.
He technically does have a name though. So Donald, if you know the name, I'll give you the points instead. Otherwise, I will give Phil those points.
I'm so sorry, Phil. He's the most
Oh.
interesting man in the world.
Oh.
Yeah. I am going to give that to him, the world's most interesting man. So, Phil, what I will do, because we need to have a game, is I'm going to let you have 1,000 as well. And Donald's going to be the lead with 1,000 to 200 for final factile time. And you guys will need to enter in your wagers. I would recommend Phil wagering it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all in.
Donald, you'll make your selection on how much you want to wager. And once you've done that, we will then reveal the final question.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Let's see how it goes with you guys entering it manually. Let's play now. San Diego Comic-Con International, which is considered in the industry to be the flagship event of Comic-Cons, was founded in what decade?
Yeah, you're getting it. I know you're getting it.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay. All right, let's see what happened. Phil, you said the 1990s. Unfortunately not.
Oh, decade, son of a bitch. Well,
You said
I wrote in that
2006,
year.
so in the 2000s, unfortunately. Also, no. This was actually founded in the
Wow.
1970s.
wow, really?
You may not have known. Yeah, founded in 1970, apparently. So, a little fact of the day. But listen,
It's a
as rough
tie.
as that was, there was a winner.
No, there wasn't.
No,
It's a
there
tie.
I
I said, fuck it, all in, baby,
No,
all
I
in.
didn't see your wager. I just assumed you would have only wagered like 100.
Nah,
No,
mom ain't raised
went
no
all
bitch.
in.
Yeah, mommy don't raise no
Uh,
bitch. Come on.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, this was the last time we're playing Jeopardy, so No, that was a great time. No, that was a great time. No, that won't be the end of Jeopardy, but I might have to go back to the drawing board.
It's a dumpster fire.
I apologize.
Negative the whole damn game.
We did so bad, Donald. That was not.
I mean, they were good questions. It was just like shit.
Yeah. No, there were a couple in there that I felt good about, and when you guys started struggling on those, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, we might be in trouble. But yeah, that was our Factile Jeopardy game.
Yep, there it was.
We're here.
Lots of fun hanging out with you here, Donald. We hope to see you very, very soon. And, we were certainly going to keep up with all of your projects. So please, before we get out of here for the evening, let our audience know where they can find any of your work, where they can keep up with you. And also, if you do have any appearances coming up, whether it be towards the end of the year or the beginning next year, whatever it is you want to share, please take this time to do so now.
Sure. So, you can follow me on social media. My X is at Donald Guzzi. My Instagram is at action_audio. As for any recent projects coming out, again, Stormlight Archive, Wind and Truth from Graphic Audio. You can find it on graphicaudio.net. Part 1 and 2 are out currently. Part 3 comes out on the 15th, so it will be out as of once this episode releases. And, part 5 comes out November 21st, and then part 5, I imagine, will be next year. It is the 5th book in the series, so, you might have a lot to get through if you haven't read Stormlight before, but highly recommend Graphic Audio stuff. It's really, really cool. And as for con appearances, I am going to be doing a ShikaCon in Lincoln City, Oregon at the beginning of next year. As for the actual date, I should probably have that on hand, huh? So it is January 10th and 11th in Lincoln City, Oregon. So I will be there actually with Josh. It's Josh, Abby, and Abby, Trina, Josh, me, and Shakira. Done. We're all gonna be there. So they've got a good chunk of the Nokotan cast coming in. I don't know who else, but it should be a good time.
Super exciting, Donald. Thank you so much for taking the time. We'd love to have you back on for a different episode. If you enjoyed your visit here with us, who knows, Eric? Maybe there is a extra large My Dear Friend Nokotan, What Did I Miss in our future, which would be certainly a whole lot of fun. So, we thank you for that. And everything you need to know to follow Donald will be in the link, or will be in the show notes of this episode, along where to follow the Wait For It podcast. So you can follow us, of course, on social media, over on TikTok, Instagram, join our growing Discord community, watch us on Twitch where we are streaming a ton. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. And if you want to support the show, you can head on over to the podcast listener of your choice, podcast app of your choice, and leave us a 5-star review. It's one of the best ways you can support us. And, of course, follow us all individually. Me, Eric, Donald, all of that is so very helpful to all of our personal creative journeys as well. But maybe you want these episodes a little bit early. Maybe you want to partake in having a hand in the content that we put out. Eric will let you know how you can do all of that before wrapping us up.
Yeah, so of course with Patreon, that is a platform you may know of already, and we are on it. We're patrons of the show right now. Briar, T3 Cato, Vintage Macaroni, Corey from The World Is My Burrito, Nick Casbaro, the author of the Vidalarium series, and Botter from the Short Box podcast are supporting us monthly on that platform in exchange for behind the scenes and early access to episodes like this one. The month of October is Patreon month, where we've had a hand via polls and recommendations on what our episode topics are going to be. So if you want to be part of that growing community, make sure to join us over on Patreon. But if you can't do that, you're not in a position to. Everything that you do that just takes some time out of your day helps out so much, and we truly appreciate you doing even that. But with all that said, this is the end of our episode here on the Wait For It podcast. My name is Mr. Eric Almighty. That is my co-host, Phil the Filipino, and our guest, Donald. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Just remember, we release new episodes every Wednesday for the podcast, and all you got to do is wait for it.
This is the Wait For It podcast.